And whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, firefighters, educators, administrators, emergency nurses, emergency physicians, and others. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, therefore, Victor DeLuca, Mayor of Maplewood Township, in recognition of this day, does hereby proclaim the week of May 21st through 27th, Emergency Medical Services Week. We are very grateful to all of our emergency medical services personnel, Maplewood Fire, and actually the South Orange Rescue Squad does some of our emergency medical services as well, and so we are very grateful and thankful to them. And both organizations will be given a copy of this proclamation. Thank you.
I think we should also recognize our township clerk, Elizabeth Fritzen, who for 43 years has been a volunteer paramedic.
Volunteer EMT,
and has delivered 2 babies in that time, and I'm sure saved a number of lives and help people in some of the worst moments of their life to recover and get the help they needed. So thank you, Liz.
Thank you. Next up, I'm going to ask the Honorable Theodore Stevens to come up, Essex County Surrogate. If you want to know what the surrogate is, we'll find out.
That's exactly why I'm here, Mayor. Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I am Theodore Stevens. I'm the Essex County Surrogate, and since becoming surrogate, this is the first year of my second term, and I'm happy to continue in that position. I'm enjoying it, and I always knew the surrogate had an important role, but being in the office day in, day out, we see that there's a need for more information than I possibly could have provided or possibly could have imagined would be. When running for office, the surrogate's the only elected judge in the state, and so when I ran for office, and I think I told the mayor previously that I had 2 main questions after I'd give my qualifications. The first, of course, is what's my name? Again. And secondly is what the heck is a surrogate? So yeah, I felt compelled to come out to every council, and every year I go to every council and I just give an update in terms of what the Surrogates Court does. And we are a court, and we handle several important functions, guardianship applications for the Superior Court, which is a very growing field. We handle adoption applications as well. I'm the steward of trust fund money for minors, of course, who have come into some funds and they can't own it themselves. So I'm holding about $36 million in that amount for Essex County minors. And the most important functions are most known for handling wills and non-will estates. During the first term, we made some additions and enhancements to the office. We made our website much more robust. We also extended hours where at least 1 day a month individuals can come to the Surrogates Court after 4:30 and get service. And we also have opened up our long-awaited satellite office. We couldn't open it in Maplewood, we tried, but we are open up at the Turtleback Zoo. There is a county office there so that it doesn't cost the county any additional money, easily accessible, especially for those in the western part of the county. And that is phenomenally successful. We could do that every week, but we are only given a couple of days a month to do that. So we're extremely happy to have offered more services in order to get a little more accessible to the public, because Newark, of course, is there. It's a great city, but parking is difficult, and that's the benefit of that extra day where people come late, because they get the one benefit you can only get at that time in the city of Newark, and that's free parking after 3:30. So people tend to like that. So one of the things I think it was important is the website I'm really happy to have enhanced, because getting people as much information about what the surrogates court does before they come in is extremely important. Because everybody who comes through our doors comes through in a very anxious moment, obviously losing a loved one, but even an adoption. Everybody needs a little TLC and a lot of information. So the website, driving people to that has been helpful. We also came out with a pamphlet. I've got reading material for you. There'll be no test, but I'll just leave it for your leisure reading. But it'd be helpful, I think, just to give people an update in terms of why they should have a will, what happens if you don't have a will, and because afterward the process is called administration without a will, and that is, you'll find by reading, much more difficult. Having the will makes everything extremely easy. It's not just for wealthy people. It's for anybody who has anything that they want to care for, someone they want to care for after they've passed away. So we encourage everyone to have a will, a power of attorney, and a living will. And this gives you an update in terms of that, what to expect if you don't have it and why you should have it. So it's I think it's very helpful. Be happy to take suggestions if you do look at it and you think there are things that we can improve upon, because it's just a first edition and of many. And we're also going to provide a similar document for helping with guardianships and adoptions. The guardianship rules for anybody who has gone through a guardianship, that of course is a court case where the judge will determine if somebody needs assistance or somebody to carry affairs, handle affairs for them. There have been some rules that have changed, and so the process is a little different than it used to be, a little bit more difficult now. So we're going to give a pamphlet, put a pamphlet together with that information as well. So it's been my pleasure to come in front of Maplewood. I'm happy to say this is the first one that I'm doing for this series, and you guys have always been so welcoming, and so I'm happy to leave this with you. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Great. Anybody questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have a question. I do have a comment, though. I just want to thank you for all the work and coming out and making that office a kinder, gentler place. I had the opportunity to serve as a court-appointed guardian for a relative years ago, and it was, I won't say it was a scary time, but it was very, very confusing. And I think that pamphlet would have been very helpful to me.
Well, we're going to, particularly for that situation, I'm so glad you talked about that, because having done that yourself, you know the only reason somebody does that is because they're doing it for the most altruistic of reasons. You're looking to help someone who clearly is in need of help. Yet once you take that on, there are all kinds of reporting responsibilities on an annual basis, and then individuals don't understand really what they're getting into. And the Supreme Court has instituted a guardianship monitoring program to just make sure that we have an idea that guardians are turning in those reports. Fortunately, we haven't had a bad situation in Essex, but in South Jersey, there was a much known case of an attorney who conspired with a couple other professionals, and she bilked her clients out of over $1 million in terms of handling guardianship applications. And as counsel and I know, lawyers get a bad enough rap. We do hard work most of the time, but it only takes one apple to ruin the whole bunch. Absolutely. So we are very mindful to make sure that we give people the information that they need to know to avoid a situation not like that, of course, but one which is unintended. So.
Great.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And just echo one thing, Mayor, in closing, I just echo your sentiments. Everybody needs to get out to vote, because we know now more than ever before that elections have consequences. And so everybody should take their franchise and treat it very preciously and exercise it.
Absolutely.
So I wish
Thank you.
everybody best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have a presentation from retired officer Mike Morrison on the open gym program.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Township Committee. I'm Michael Marsden, a Maplewood police officer from 1990 until 2012, with the most rewarding years being my assignment to Columbia High School to 2001 2005. At the start, I'd like to thank people who made this open gym possible. The athletic director, Mr. Buscio, who was very excited to see something like this happening in school. Sergeant Connie Fields, who rallied the police officers to keep their commitments that they made to the program. The chief of police of Maplewood for offering comp time to the officers who were willing to volunteer to come out. And to Councilman McGee, in his absence, who I believe represents the feelings and view of this council for his support when he heard what we were doing in the community. The Open Gym Council is a result of the officers' interest to interact with the community. They've been approaching me over the weeks. And so, because I believe this was an urgent and important event, I utilized my own resources to make sure this happened in a timely manner. The elephant in this nation and in our community is police-community relations. In my new life, I'm the youth minister at First Baptist Church under the leadership of Dr. Richardson, and we hear stories about the youth and the police in towns, but we both believe these stories do not represent the intentions and the character of the fine officers of this community. But the fact still remains that there's a remnant in our community that feels disenfranchised and unconnected. For the first 2 Fridays, we had between 10 and 15 officers playing basketball with 100 youth from the community. I have a sidebar here that you should be proud that the Maple Cops are in pretty good shape, went up and down the court with those young kids. But I had the opportunity recently to view our own township master plan, which lets me know how important this event is in our community, this open gym. Our master plan tells us that 42.8% of our households have children 18 years of under in the household, with 15% of them female-led households with no husband present. It's stated in our community, it's stated its community objectives that will inform the master plan will include to support and promote racial integration and enhance a general sense of community for all. We haven't met that goal yet, but I believe with this open gym is a way that we can meet our all goal. To optimize usage from all our public areas and community facilities and to explore shared services and support strong cultural activities and programs. Upon retirement with First Baptist Church in South Thorn, we received a grant. And we mentored 70 kids from Columbia High School and South Thorn Middle School. My hope is that this committee, along with the Board of Education and stakeholders, would make sure a program like this continues in our community. I'm committed to helping this event happen. I got an email, the principal been support, and I had this email, I want to share her response right before I came here. She said to me in the email, she said, "I loved announcing it. The kids seemed excited. How do you feel about doing all year next year?" And then she shared the mission statement of South Lane Maplewood School District, which is to empower and inspire each student to explore and imagine and pursue personal passion and to collectively create a better future by creating a learner-centered environment through multiple pathways, reimagined structures, systems, and supports, innovative teaching, partnering with families, and maximizing community expertise and resources. It's time for our community to stop using language like explore and suggest and encourage, but it's time for us to really implement programs to promote police and community relations. I want to thank you for your time to present this program to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. When does it end?
It ends, we got 4 Fridays in May. The athletic director just talked to me today and said June is open. So I secured the 4 Fridays in May. So we're going to, with the officers and the people involved, we're going to debrief and see how we can keep this going. Okay. And this email was right before I came here from the principal. So we're going to meet and make sure, see how we can keep something like this going in town. I look forward to working with this committee and to support something that's going on in our community.
Great. Well, thank you very much for doing this. Anyone else have any comments?
Yeah, I just want to thank you because it's vitally important that we start getting the police and the youth in our community together and getting to know each other as people. And that's a huge thing you're doing. And thank you for using your own resources to get it kicked off. And thank you. That's great.
And once you get a sense of what it is we can do to help, please let us know, because I think there's a consensus that we would like to help.
Thank you. Response we've been getting from parents. Thank you for doing it. It's a lovely thing. And we have kids that are graduated a couple of years ago. We didn't have this when we were here. So I believe it could be a wonderful thing for our community.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We're going to now move to the first public comment session. Is there anyone who would like to address the Township Committee? Just come up and give us your name and address.
Jeanette Page Hawkins, County Liaison. And I just want to bring to your attention that some book pamphlets were delivered to City Hall this past week. And there's quite a few activities for the summer, recreational and cultural activities that will be going on in the county. And so thank you for the disbursement of that information. Also like to bring to everyone's attention that the county does an open house at the zoo. Every year it's free. And there's a wealth of information and free giveaways and et cetera that are offered that day. It's on a Saturday. It starts at 10 o'clock to 2, and it's June 3rd this year at the Essex County South Mountain Recreation Complex. It's very, very nice activity for the family, and it's free. It's really great. Another thing I want to bring to your attention is that there's going to be Learn to Skate classes starting May 30th. And they're also going to be free for registered skaters, and I sent this forward, so you have that in an email. And Ms. Adams, you presented a question some weeks back, and I had your answer, but you weren't here, so
I know,
I kind of held it till you came back. It was in regards to the household hazardous waste.
Yeah.
I did ask the question about being in other locations, and I was told that in the past, the county had tried that in the Newark area, and it didn't work out so well.
They tried it.
In the Newark
Newark
area.
area?
Yes, and it didn't work out too well. Wasn't a lot of participation, so they didn't
They're not
consider
gonna try
doing it anyplace else.
There are
So-
other areas in Essex County they could try.
They feel as though the present site is the best site, and I guess from the experience from Newark. But I did pose your question.
Okay, well, thank you for
You're
carrying
more
it
than
forward.
welcome. And so is there any services, any issues or anything that I can,
We're okay.
good, okay.
Yeah.
Good
Thank you.
evening. Good
No
evening.
Thank you.
homework this time.
Anyone else want to address the Township Committee? Hey, well, yes, sir. No, you can speak about anything. Chief Semino, before you leave, I just want to give you the answer about Valley Street. I have the answer already, so.
Hi, my name's Robert Behrens, and I'm with Education First. And we're a program that brings international students to the United States. And we've got a number of students coming this summer, and we're looking for host families in the Maplewood area. And we know that the community of Maplewood is very welcoming and open. And so we just wanted to get the information out to the council as well as any of the community members that are here tonight.
Where should somebody go for, I mean,
Yeah, so I've got pamphlets that I'll provide to you guys. We have contact information on here, and then we also have a website as well, and it's ef.com. And all the information is available online. But
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to address the Township Committee? Okay. So Chief, we did talk about Valley and New Jersey American Water, and our feeling is daytime work. Yeah,
Just not rush hour.
It's, yeah, non-rush hour daytime work, as you described, after 9, before 2:30. We just felt that it shares the pain a little bit more than just the residents in that area on the overnight. And I don't think there was entire confidence that it would be just limited to one overnight. Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to move to an ordinance on final passage, number 8.
Mayor, item 8, ordinance on final passage, ordinance number 2861-17. An ordinance to amend various sections of the code of the Township of Maplewood to require various township volunteer committees to annually appoint officers from amongst its members. This ordinance will require that various township volunteer committees annually elect officers from amongst its membership.
This ordinance has been published, copies posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and copies made available to the general public in accordance with the law. Is there anyone who would like to speak on this ordinance, which requires township boards and committees to annually elect an officer? Seeing no one, can we get a motion, Mr. Limbrick?
I move this ordinance be adopted as a whole and the clerk be directed to publish the same as a passed ordinance in the Maplewood South Orange News Record according to law.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Mrs. Larrier?
Yes.
Mr. Lembrick?
Yes.
Mayor DeLuca?
Yes. We have another ordinance on final.
Item 9, Mayor, ordinance on final passage, ordinance number 2862-17. Amendment to ordinance 2788-15, authorizing classification of employment positions within the township and to establish salary ranges for employees. This ordinance authorizes classification of employment positions and establishes salary ranges for employees.
This ordinance has been published, copies posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and copies made available to the general public in accordance with the law. Is there anyone who would like to speak on this ordinance, which sets up classifications of employment and salary ranges? Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing, and I'll move this ordinance be adopted as a whole, and the clerk be directed to publish the same as a passed ordinance in the Maplewood South Orange News Record according to law.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Mrs. Larrier?
Yes.
Mr. Lembrick?
Yes.
Mayor DeLuca?
Yes, thank you. We have a final, on final.
Yes, Mayor, item 10, ordinance on final passage, ordinance number 2863-17, an ordinance to amend Chapter 257 of the Code of the Township of Maplewood entitled Vehicles and Traffic. This ordinance will direct a no parking here to corner zone on Indiana Street at its intersection with Springfield Avenue.
This ordinance has been published, copies posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and copies made available to the general public in accordance with the law. Is there anyone who would like to speak on this ordinance? Seeing no one, Ms. Adams, can we get a motion?
Mayor, I move this ordinance be adopted as a whole and the clerk be directed to publish the same as a passed ordinance in the Maplewood South Orange News Record according to law.
And I'll second that. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Mrs. Larrier?
Yes.
Mr. Lembrick?
Yes.
Mayor DeLuca?
Yes. We have 2 items for discussion. Mrs. Larry, we have the wheeler sign and riders.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The mayor and I and the code committee met last week. And Ms. Adams, yes,
forget
that's
me.
right, don't forget Ms. Adams, Deputy Mayor Adams. We met with the realtors, and we are recommending that for our realtor signs, we include 3 total riders, 2 underneath the main sign and 1 on top of the main sign. The top rider would be limited to the same 4 messages that we already have. There will be no coming soons or soonish, or no,
We did allow coming, we did talk about coming soon.
say coming, oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes, we're going to put a date on the back. We are going to have coming soon. We are going to have coming soon. There's no, however, no best team in Maplewood.
No advertising for
No
the
advertising.
program.
And the riders on the bottom absolutely must be pertinent to the property itself, not to the advertising of realtor. So I guess we will need to amend ordinance to include that.
I would ask you to give me an email or give me the specifics as to what you want on there, but yes.
Sure. With the coming soon, in order to keep it sort of under control, we're going to have a date that will be included on that rider as of when it's put up.
The coming soon can only be up for two weeks.
Okay.
And then we need to have a date on the back of the date it's supposed to come down. So if I'm going to put it on the 1st of June, it has to come down on the 15th. I have to put it on the sign the 15th, so.
It's a little sticker for the enforcement to keep track of.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get you an
As long
email.
as you give me the material, I'll be happy to get it done. No
Okay.
problem.
It was requested that we allow those big, huge feather signs, and it was pretty much unanimous that we will not be doing that.
Hey, Mr. Lembrick, you okay with these changes?
This is in section 271. This has to go back to the board, right?
I don't believe it is, it's signs.
It's not, it's just in the sign section?
In signs,
Okay.
yeah. Because when we changed the one rider to two riders, we didn't go back to
Do
the
that.
planning board.
That's fine.
It's in the sign ordinance, yeah. Okay, so next we have a garage requirement.
Currently, we have a requirement that you have to have a garage. We were asked by zoning board, thank you, to revisit that requirement. And when we did some investigation, sort of came to the realization that that is simply just a property value reason for having to have a garage. There's no real reason for a garage other than, I think, the 45% ground cover that we had, or rather
Yeah, it seemed antiquated and undue burden on residents to, if they have a dilapidated structure, auxiliary structure like a garage on their property, that they have to rebuild it, as opposed, and right now, the current law requires them to go for a variance in order to not have to put it back up. So but as the lot coverage, we're still working on at planning board.
So we're going to be amending, if it's okay with the rest of the committee, we're going to be amending to not require a garage. I guess technically, if you wanted to pull down your garage, you could, and if it's a perfectly good garage, because that would be part of the lack of the requirement. But this way, as Ms. Adams said, it's not a burden on anyone who has a dilapidated garage and they don't want to replace it, or something happens to it and they don't want to replace it. And then the planning board will be looking at what you can put on that property in place of the garage if you so decide to do that.
Right, but all we're going to do is change the ordinance. Right now, the ordinance says you have to provide a garage suitable for a car. We're just going to eliminate the language, and you have to still provide parking, but not a garage. So we'll get that to you.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
There's many meetings of discussion.
All right, next up is the consent agenda. We get a motion on the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move adoption of the consent agenda.
Second?
Please call the roll.
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Mrs. Larrier?
Yes.
Mr. Lembrick?
Yes.
Mayor DeLuca?
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. Fritzen, I need to abstain from the minutes approval on open session.
And my answer is yes.
Thank
Sorry.
you, Mayor.
I haven't missed a meeting until the last meeting, so.
Next up, we have our second public comment period. Is there anyone who would like to address the Township Committee? Okay, seeing no one, we'll have administrative reports. Manning is not here. Do we have a report in his stead?
We do not.
Okay. Mr. Desiderio?
I have no report, Mayor.
Guess everybody wants to go home. This must be like a double header where the umps just want to call strikes, strikes, strikes.
We didn't ask Ms. Fritzen.
Ms. Fritzen?
Couple of things, Mayor.
They,
Okay, so as the mayor has already mentioned, voter registration through to 9 PM, so another 50 minutes. The township clerk's office is open. And again, that's voter registration till 9 if you want to vote in the June primary. I just wanted to highlight the fact that our next township committee meeting is Wednesday, June 7th, and that is due to election day being Tuesday, June 6th. And election day is from 6 AM to 8 PM on Tuesday, June 6th. Later on, we have a ABC transfer, and that concludes my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Just want to clarify, the June 7th meeting will be in this room?
Oh, I'm sorry. The June 7th meeting will be in this room, and it's customary that the second meeting in June is actually our first meeting at the Police and Court Building, if you choose to move there for the summer months.
So we will decide that on the 7th?
You'll probably
Or decide that now?
You can decide it now.
I think to give her time to publish, we should probably decide now.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we move our second meeting in June, our July, August, and first meeting in September,
Both meetings in September.
both meetings in September, to the Police and Courts Building on Springfield Avenue.
Is there a second?
second.
Please call the roll.
Ms. Adams?
Yes,
Mrs. Larrier?
Those chairs go up and down, so
that's
absolutely.
true. Don't need our high chair
Mr.
cushion.
Lembrecht?
Yes.
Mayor DeLuca?
I'm going to vote yes, even though I don't like the
I know,
meet
I
there,
know.
but that's
He
all right.
complains all summer, too, if I recall.
Thank you.
Ms. Viveros, you neglected to say the standard report of Mr.
Farmers
Manning,
Market.
and that is Farmers Market. When does it start?
It starts June 5th, and we're actually trying to do a site plan currently for all the vendors, and we've got a couple of new vendors coming through, including an organic chocolate vendor, and just a couple of other, we've opened up some nonprofits that are coming into town, and it's still open to anybody who's interested. So we've got another 3 weeks or so.
So,
And we've put up some great pole signs.
yeah, I saw those. So we've moved the Farmers Market. It's no longer at Indiana Street and Springfield Avenue. It's near to the corner of Yale Street and Springfield Avenue. It's a lot between two buildings. There's a huge parking lot, the Yale Street parking lot, where you'll be able to park. We always had the problem of Indiana with the conflict between the parkers and the farmer patrons. So this will allow us to have the parking in one area and the patrons going to the farmer and other vendors in the farmers market area. So that'll start the 5th of June.
Very large.
Mr. Manning would be very happy that you continued that.
We'll send out a couple more reminders.
No, he's not going to take every word in the book. I'm going to keep huge, so. Okay. We have elected officials report. Ms. Adams.
Mayor, just to remind everyone, the summer leaf blower ban went into effect yesterday, May 15th. And to clarify, that is for gas-powered leaf blowers by commercial operators from May 15th through September 30th. If you want to report any company doing that, you call the non-emergency police number or code enforcement, or go on our website or the app to report an issue. Let's see. Also, there are a lot of landscaping companies that are not registered, so reminder to landscaping companies that you need to register with the town so that we can notify you when things happen. There are fewer registered this year than last, but there undoubtedly are the same number working. So if you are a homeowner and you have a landscaping company and maintain your property, please make sure they're registered with DPW. Also a reminder from our Public Works Department that Recycling, they did send out an email blast, and I just wanted to clarify that there's no requirement for lids to be on your recycling containers, but they are required to be in appropriate containers, not placed in reusable containers that are recycling packaging. They can be put in a box, but preferably in a container, and make sure that they're stable so that, as with this past weekend, there was a lot of wind. But most importantly, especially with wind issues, the recycling shouldn't be put out to the curb until 24 hours or 12 hours? 24 hours.
5 PM the night before.
5 PM the night before. So 5 PM Sunday night and not sooner, because you will get cited if you're out a few days before. And I think that's my only engineering report this month, Mayor.
Mr. Lambert?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My first report is that registration continues to be open for the Maplewood Community Pool for this summer. We're just a few weeks away from opening up the pool for the summer, and we're very excited. There has been a little bit of confusion in the community about how to get your pool IDs and photos, so wanted to put that information out there. This year, we have converted to key fob, so away from the ID cards of past years. So we need new photos for every pool member age 3 and above for our registration system. The photos can be taken here at Town Hall during times that I'll mention in a moment, or at the pool anytime once it's open for the season. Unlike previous years, we can't take emailed photographs this year for use in the new system. The key fobs can be given out once you get your picture taken here in Town Hall or at the pool once it's open, and the old membership cards are now obsolete, so they won't be good for admission anymore. To make things easier for residents and pool members, you can come take a photo here at Town Hall. They're staying open, so they're open every day from 9 a.m. to 4:30. But tonight they were open until 7. This Thursday, the 18th, they're going to stay here till 8:30 p.m. They're going to be here on Saturday, this Saturday, the 20th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can come here to Town Hall and get your photo taken and get your key fob for your pool admission. And next Monday and Thursday, the 22nd and 25th, there will be staff here until 8:30 p.m. To get your photos. So please try to come in before the pool opens, because I imagine that the wait to do so the first few days the pool is open Memorial Day weekend are probably going to be lengthy, and you are going to need that key fob and your photo taken before you can be admitted to the pool. Mr. Mayor, the second item on my report is from the Public Safety Committee, and that is that the Public Safety Committee has reviewed the draft operational order prepared by Police Chief Semino, implementing the welcoming community resolution that we passed earlier this year, and I'll be preparing, with the help of others on the Public Safety Committee and in consultation with the chief, a thorough summary of that operational order, and I'll be making a report on that topic at the next meeting. So I would ask Ms. Fritzen to put that on the agenda for the June 7th meeting. And finally, I just encourage everyone in Maplewood to come out to vote. Election Day is June 6th. And that's 3 weeks from tonight. There's an important primary this year for governor. The entire state legislature is up for election. So from Maplewood to the state legislature to the governor's office, we have important races up and down the ballot. So please come out and let your voice be heard. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Larrier?
No report, Mayor.
I have a few items. This Thursday evening, November 18th, November 18th. I'm a little bit ahead of myself. May 18th at 7:30 p.m., the Hilton Neighborhood Association will be hosting Dr. Ramos, Superintendent of Schools. This will be your opportunity to ask questions about the future of our school system and get into a dialogue. I will be emceeing the night, so please come by and ask questions. On Saturday, the 20th, we will be having Talk to the Township Committee from 9 to 12. We'll be at Jacoby Street and Springfield Avenue in front of Bank of America. At 1 p.m. on Saturday, we'll be at the firehouse. We'll be dedicating a new ambulance. And then from 4 to 6 p.m. on Saturday, there is an arts summit sponsored by the Maplewood Arts Council. And that'll be at the Bergdorf Center. So it's a jam-packed day. Really important if you're into arts and music and culture in town to join us at the Arts Summit, 4 to 6 on Saturday. On the 21st, Sunday, is Mayfest, big event, big Springfield Avenue Street Fair. It's 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Friday, June 2nd, we'll be having Gun Violence Awareness Day, and that'll be in the evening. We'll be wearing orange again like we did last year. This year we'll be at the gazebo on Springfield Avenue. And so Friday, June 2nd. And then, of course, Memorial Day Parade is Monday, May 29th. And hopefully we won't have rain and we'll be able to do the parade and have our ceremony outside. Last year we had to have it inside, and it's much nicer when it's outside. So, and that concludes the reports. I'm going to ask now for an adjournment of the Township Committee and then a reconvening as the Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission.
Move that we adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Who's doing it?
I'll sort it out.
Okay.
Mrs. Fritzon's going to do it.
She'll have to read the opening and all that.
I sent, first of all, the amended resolution.
Yep.
I want to hand out the hearing information. That we got in our packets.
Yeah, we got it in our packet.
I don't believe I gave you the hearing.
Oh, okay. No, thank you. I told you about yesterday. I asked how much you were supposed to do. You want? Sure.
Okay, I'm going to call first the Maplewood Local ABC meeting to order. And first, we're going to do roll call. Please answer if you're present. Ms. Adams? Here. Mrs. Larrier? Here. Mr. Lembrick?
Here.
Mr. McGehee? Mayor DeLuca?
Here.
Tonight we have the matter of a person-to-person ABC transfer from Pocket. It's plenary retail consumption license number 0711-33-020-005. And that is the Village Venue LLC, which is currently a Pocket license, Thomas Kearns, to M160 LLC. Mr. Desiderio, do you want me to go through the applicant's qualifications here?
Sure. Why don't, counsel, when you put your appearance on the record, please?
Sure, Mr. Desiderio. Good evening. My name is Tony Kester. I'm with the firm Diltz & Kester, appearing here tonight on behalf of M160 LLC, the applicant for the transfer of the plenary license referenced by Ms. Fritzen. So we're pleased to be here at the final end of the road. It's been a step-by-step process, and we're very thankful for the township's efforts and Ms. Fritzen's the police department. So I have with me Mr. Forgione, a principal of one of the members of M160 LLC, who will answer any questions that you may have. But if everything is in order, we're happy to proceed to a resolution.
Well, I think the committee would like to ask some questions. If we can have Mr. Forgione sworn in. Raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, Ms. Fritzen, do you want to continue?
Yes. Said applicant has in all respects complied with the requirements of the statutes of New Jersey. Said applicant has complied with the ordinance of the Township of Maplewood essential to the transfer of such license. Said applicant has submitted a sworn statement affirming that they will assume all outstanding obligations of the transfer. And said applicant has received a tax clearance certificate from the state of New Jersey. Said applicant has published on November 10th, 2016 and November 17th, 2016 in the Maplewood South Orange News Record intentions of the purchase. And I'll state that I have received no objections to this transfer.
Ms. Fritzen, if I may ask, are you right on those dates, November 10th and 17th, the two consecutive weeks, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And I have the publication certification. And are there any objections now from anyone present?
Okay, I just have a couple of questions for Mr. Forgione. Mr. Forgione, we do have an affidavit that was submitted from Mr. Califer, K-A-L-F-E-R?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and he is your partner in this business, is that
Yes, sir.
correct? Okay, and what is the general nature of M160 LLC?
It's a single-purpose entity to hold the liquor license.
Okay. And in that affidavit, he states the source of the funds, but could you just repeat those since he's not here?
Yes, sir. The source of funds are personal equity.
Okay, these were personal funds that were available to the LLC from its members, I take it. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your intention is to hold this as a pocket license at this point? You do not have a place-to-place transfer at this point, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Do you hold any other liquor licenses?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you know if Mr. Califer holds any other liquor licenses?
I do believe so.
He does? Okay,
sir.
but not in his name, but in the name of a separate entity?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any other questions from the committee?
Any other questions from the commission?
I have none.
Okay. Ms. Fritzen, you have a resolution?
Yes, I do. Resolution number 94-17, be it resolved that application having been made to the Maplewood Township Committee, local ABC of the Township of Maplewood for a person-to-person transfer, plenary retail consumption license number 0711-33-020-005, hereto issued to the Village Venue LLC, a pocket license. The Township Clerk of the Township of Maplewood is hereby authorized and directed as agent of the Township Committee, local ABC, to transfer on behalf of the Township Committee, local ABC, person-to-person transfer from the Village Venue LLC pocket license to M160 LLC, location to be determined. The person-to-person transfer is effective May 17, 2017, and shall be deemed final 30 days from May 17, 2017, pursuant to NJSA 33-1-26. The following shall be adhered to. Licensee will voluntarily post sign notice at their cash registers, which will advise customers that consumption of alcoholic beverages on the streets of Maplewood is forbidden by township ordinance. The township clerk will provide the sign notices to be posted. Licensee agrees to maintain the areas in and around their restaurant and keep it free from debris. Maplewood will continue to enforce the ordinance involved and work with the licensee regarding any complaints they have. Licensee pledges to cooperate with Maplewood and agrees to institute the voluntary measures described here and above. The license is subject to the rules and regulations here and above or hereafter adopted by the governing body, as well as by all other lawful authority, as well as to all the statutes of this state and federal government in such cases made and provided.
Mr. Mayor, I move the adoption of this resolution.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Adams?
Yes.
Mrs. Larrier?
Yes?
Mr. Lembrick?
Yes.
Mayor DeLuca?
Yes.
We're done.
All right.
Thank you very
Mayor,
much.
aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's make a motion to adjourn.
Can I move that we adjourn this meeting of the ABC?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone. No.
Well, with the hearing for ABC, yeah, we would have been 10 minutes ahead. Would have been close to the record.
All right. So,
8:20.
I had no idea. I was in whatever.